Hello guys, how are we all doing? Big breaking news that the Premier League 8 lineup has completed. We've got two debutants, Gian Van Veen and Josh Rock, will make their BetMGM Premier League debuts in 2026 as the reigning champion Luke Humphries and the two-time world champion Luke Littler headline the star-stubborn lineup. Before we get into YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button and support the channel. But what a start to 2026. Littler capped off a sensational year by retaining the Sidwell Trophy on Saturday, becoming only the fourth player in PDC history to win back-to-back World Championship titles. 18-year-old now has a second Premier League triumph in his sights as the 8 of the sport's biggest names competing for a record of £350,000 top prize across 17 weeks of action from February until May. Littler claimed the UK Open, the World Match Play, the World Grand Prix, the Grand Slam of Darts, the Players' Championship Finals and the World Championship glory in a remarkable 2025, referring his status as the sport's premier player. World number 2, Humphries preceded his Premier League success in his victory in last January's World Masters before finishing runner-up at the World Grand Prix, the European Championships and the Grand Slam of Darts. However, there'll be fresh look at this year's lineup as the World Championship runner-up Van Veen and Northern Ireland's World Cup winner Josh Rock brazed the Premier League stage for the first time. European champion Van Veen catapulted himself up to world number 3 following his superb run at Alexander Palace, which saw him overhaul Michael van Gerwen to become the new Dutch number 1. Van Veen will feature alongside a 7-time Premier League champion in this year's extravaganza, this year's tournament in 2026 after Van Gerwen returned to the winner's circle in a memorable victory in September's World Series of Darts finals. Rock, meanwhile, inspired Northern Ireland to a maiden World Cup victory in June, while also featuring in a hat-trick of televised semi-finals at the UK Open, the World Match Play and the World Series of Darts finals. Great to see Jonny Clayton back in the Premier League, 2021 champion of course, making his return to the Premier League after featuring a brace of televised finals of the World Masters and the World Cup of Darts, alongside Gerwyn Price, having also reached the semi-finals of the UK Open, the World Match Play and the World Grand Prix. Clayton will be joined in the 8-player lineup by his World Cup partner Gerwyn Price, who also enjoyed a welcome return to form in 2025, winning 5 ranking titles, landing 2 9-darters during last year's Premier League, where he was a semi-finalist, of course. World number 7, Stephen Bunting completes the 8-player lineup following a trophy London campaign that saw him claim 6 PDC titles, including World Series wins, Bahrain, Copenhagen, as well as European Tour success in Riesa and Basel. So there is a new look at this year's lineup, which I'm sure will entertain our incredible crowds across the UK and Europe, especially the selection for this year's tournament was particularly difficult given the incredible standard of darts but we've seen over the last 12 months or so. Following from an historic World Championship, we are determined to build on this momentum in 2026. We are particularly looking forward to taking on the BetMGM Premier League to Belgium for the first time. All 8 players boasted considerable pedigree on the sport's biggest stages, following a record-breaking ticket sales for 2026 season. This year's promises to be a memorable one. So, to players to miss out, Danny Noppert, James Wade, Nathan Aspinall and Gary Anderson. And then PDC Q School, European Tour, so European and UK Q School. The likes of Arno Merk, of course, who had a brilliant World Championship. He's through to stage 2 as a European. Steve Beaton was unlucky not to beat Shane McGurk, of course. Professor John Parr, 3-time world champion on his way. Romeo Gervabach and Tamahaljai. Timmy Hughes, and Jimmy Van Ski, the reigning WDF World Champion. So that's my prediction. That is the breaking news, of course, for the Premier League. Who was unlucky to get in, and who misses out? Who is unlucky to miss out? Of course, possibly Nathan Aspinall. Ryan Searle was so close as well. Leave on your comments below, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.